Welcome back, everybody, to the KC Sports Report. I'm your host, Michael Darcy, and today I'm going to break down how Carson Steele is going to be an absolute superstar for the Kansas City Chiefs. So, ladies and gentlemen of the Chiefs Kingdom, the preseason is over. The Kansas City Chiefs wrapped up the 2024 preseason against the Chicago Bears yesterday at Arrowhead Stadium. The Chiefs would ultimately lose their final preseason game, but if you watched the game and watched some of the superstars take the field yesterday, you would feel pretty confident about how this team is going to perform in 2024. And the biggest name, the biggest topic of conversation is undrafted rookie free agent signing fullback Carson Steele. Carson Steele has been one of the most talked about players all offseason long, and in training camp, it only got worse. I mean, he has been balling all training camp, mostly running with the 2s and the 3s, but the sentiment coming from Chiefs training camp is that Carson Steele is a legitimate football player. He was a 1,000-yard rusher at UCLA, and he's kind of surprising. It's surprising that no one drafted him, but he came to Chiefs camp and has just balled out since. And in the final preseason game against the Chicago Bears, Carson Steele was all but basically guaranteed to make this team. But, in a game where the Chiefs rested all of their starters, Carson Steele absolutely went off. He had 4 carries for 50 yards, averaging 12.5 yards per carry, and he had a crazy touchdown run where he broke through multiple tackles, broke through multiple lines of the defense, and just found a way in the end zone on an incredible long touchdown run. And I was actually at this game yesterday, and I was listening to it on my drive back to Lawrence, and to hear Brett Veach, who was in the booth talking to Mitch Holthus during the game, while this play happened, the way that Brett Veach was talking about Carson Steele, he basically confirmed that Carson Steele is going to be on this team. He was basically like, yeah, we always go with the fullback, and last year we didn't have one. And based on the way that he had been playing, it seemed pretty obvious that he was going to make the team. And while Brett Veach was talking so glowingly about him, he had that impressive touchdown run. So in my mind, Carson Steele is already on this final 53-man roster, but I think he's better than we initially projected. Initially, I thought he was going to be a fullback. He might get on the field a couple times in short yardage situations, and that's okay. For a UDFA to make this roster and produce at all as a rookie, that's impressive, and I would be completely happy with that. But we might be in a situation where Carson Steele is running back number 2 for the Chiefs. Obviously Isaiah Pacheco is going to be your number 1 back, but with Clyde Edwards-Helaire being a question mark with his PTSD and Deneric Prince not really showing a ton in preseason, I think Carson Steele has a legitimate shot at being RB2 in Kansas City, which is more than I initially ever expected. And listen, guys, a lot of people will try to make the comparison to Kareem Hunt or, a previous runner that is just a physical, fast guy. And while I don't necessarily see the comparison between those two, Carson Steele is a physical back. He's going to get those short yardage situations down for the Chiefs. And as you saw last night, he can break one off. He can go for 20 or 30 yards, and he is a tough guy to bring down. If you're going to tackle Carson Steele, you're going to need 2 or 3 guys rallying to the football to stop him. So I feel fantastic about Carson Steele making this roster. Like I said, at this point, I'd be surprised if he didn't. But I think we have to project him as the number 2 running back in Kansas City. And I know that sounds insane because Clyde might make this roster, but I'll say this right now, a guy that was initially just going to be the fullback, he's your second best rusher on this team. And if the Chiefs are smart, he will be your second running back week 1. And that puts the Chiefs in an incredible situation with a 1-2 punch of Pacheco and Steele. I mean, the Chiefs are in a great position, and I don't want to say they've run the ball poorly in the last couple seasons, but they've missed out on those short yardage situations where, it could be a 4th and 2 or a 3rd and 3, and they can't get those couple yards that they need to extend drives. And I think that Carson Steele is the perfect and I mean perfect guy for that role, because he's going to get those yards, and that's what the Chiefs have been missing. So guys, let me know down in the comments below what you think of Carson Steele. Like I said, I think that last night's preseason performance, where he had that big touchdown run, where he just looked so dominant and impossible to stop, in my opinion, that basically solidified his spot on this roster. And just listening to the way that Brett Veach was talking about him, it's basically all but guaranteed. So let me know what you guys think of Carson Steele down in the comments below. That's all I have for this video. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this. Go check me out on social media, Instagram, KC_Sports Report, and Twitter at KC Sports Report. Go check me out on the Bleacher Report mobile app, Michael_Darcy. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching this video, and go Chiefs.